All right, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 2020 Honda Fit Sport. Up front is a 1.5 liter inline 4 and down below is a 6-speed manual transmission. Now I am super excited to be driving this here Honda Fit for three main reasons. First of all, it's a Honda Fit. Everyone I've ever met who's owned a Honda Fit has absolutely loved it, and so I'm excited to see if that's the case with the final year. The second reason I'm excited is because it is that. It's the final year for the Honda Fit here in North America. Now across the world, like Japan and Europe, they actually get a 4th generation, also known as the Honda Jazz, but us Yankees don't get that, so this is the last year for us. Last but not least, why I'm excited to review this Honda Fit is because I'm in Tennessee. It's beautiful here, the roads here are great, and so I'm excited to enjoy them in something that's stick shift.
But before we get on with the rest of the video, if you are interested in helping out the channel, there's a bunch of awesome links in the description below. One is a Bluetooth OBD2 sensor, would not work on this car, but it will pair to your smart device and help you diagnose issues in your vehicle's 1996 and up. There is Con Plates, which is a suction cup license plate mount, or Cash for Cars if you're looking to sell your vehicle. Huge thank you to all of our sponsors, and every purchase helps out the channel. But let's get on with the video.
So let's get back to that 1.5 liter inline 4. It is a dual overhead cam motor where the previous 2nd generation Honda Fit actually had a single overhead cam 1.5 liter. So this makes a little bit more horsepower. This is up around 130, which is still not a ton of horsepower, but this car is light, it's nimble, and with the 6-speed manual, it's fun to drive. I can chuck it into gears, downshift for corners, and I'm still having a really good time. And I get pretty good fuel economy in the mid-30s. Which is fantastic. Now, like I said, paired to it is a 6-speed manual transmission. Now, there's some pros and cons to this manual. First of all, some pros are the fact that it feels nice and solid. Clutch engagement is nice and easy. I just rev match downshifted after not driving this car for too long. I feel very, very comfortable with it, and it's very forgiving while being fun, enjoying, and engaging. However, as the owner has told me, at around 70 miles an hour to 75 miles an hour, this car is turning out about 3,500 RPM, meaning it's a little buzzy on the highway, sitting there going So that's a little disheartening just because this is a 6-speed, and instead of actually adding a highway gear to the 5-speed of the last generation, they just added another gear in between. So this 6th gear ratio is actually extremely similar to the 5th gear ratio of the last generation. So I feel like there was a slightly missed opportunity for a big boy highway gear to really make road trips more manageable. Last but not least, of course, the Honda Fit is front-wheel drive. So with that out of the way, let's talk about the interior because I have strong feelings about the interiors of Honda Fits. Well, in front of me, I have 3 main gauges. In the center is my center-mounted speedometer, and I have these green lights on either side. Now, they're green right now because I'm just cruising, but when I really put my foot into it, they turn blue in order to tell me that I'm not driving as economically as possible. I could be doing better. On the left is my tachometer, and on the right, I do get a digital gauge for my MPGs, fuel, things of that nature, which I really, really like. However, I don't really get any cool added gauges in that area. On the steering wheel on the left, I have my source, volume, track, and pages buttons. To the bottom left, I have my phone options, and on the right, I have my cruise control options, which is really nice because the Honda Fit Sport is actually only 1 trim up from a base, and it gets cruise control, which in these little cars is still a nice feature to have. To the left of me, I just have my traction control button, but up above that, I do have a cup holder. This is a staple of Honda Fits. The 2nd gen Honda Fit had the same thing. And it's nice because if you have a hot drink, blast your heat and it'll keep your drink hot. If you have a cold drink, blast the AC. It'll keep it cold because it's sitting right in front of the vent. I think that that's really, really smart from Honda. And like I said, the 2nd gen Fit had that as well. Moving out of the door, I have my power mirror options, lock and unlock, and my power windows, Only the driver's window is automatic, but that's okay. And then moving into the center, we do have some pretty typical Honda infotainment, so let's talk about it. So this is Honda's older infotainment system. They have since started to move away from this style. However, like I said, this is the last year of the Honda Fit here in the US, so I could understand why they didn't want to update it for its very last model year. But we do have a couple pages we could cycle through here. You can customize your apps. This vehicle doesn't have any additional apps, but this is where they would go. I have audio, phone settings, Bluetooth, Honda Link, things like that. This does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is fantastic. I think overall, I'm not a huge fan of like the touch sensitivity. The screen doesn't feel super modern. It's a little slow, things like that. However, this is a Honda Fit and I don't really need much. I can do browser, app installer, calculator downloads, and search, and I could do some widgets, bookmarks, things like that. So it has everything I really needed to do. It's nothing flashy, nothing special, and when we put it over here into reverse, I do have a backup camera. The lines do adjust when you turn the steering wheel, which is something nice. Again, something that even the Mazda 3 does not have or do. And it has Honda's typical 3 different cameras. I have a top-down view. I absolutely love this for backing up into tight spots. I have a more tight view and then a wider field of view, more of a fisheye, so you could see more area around you. Honda's really good with their backup cameras. This spans all the way up to the Honda Odyssey and Ridgeline and Pilot and things like that, but I'm glad that the smaller Fit also gets these sort of nice backup features. Down below the infotainment center, we do have our climate controls. No dual zone or anything like that, but temperature, where to send it, and fan speed, all the necessities. And then I do have an AC button and a rear defroster switch. Moving down below that, I have my USB in for the infotainment, as well as my 12-volt outlet and 2 cup holders. So we will do a big friggin' bottle test here in the Honda Fit, and sadly, it actually fails the big friggin' bottle test. And the reason I say sadly is normally I wouldn't expect it out of a little car like this, but Hondas in the past have been very, very good about fitting the big friggin' bottle, and so it's just a little sad to see a Honda fail when the HR-V, this car's kind of sibling, actually does pass. So it is what it is. Then we get to the shifter itself. Like I said, the shifter feels really good. It shifts easily, it feels nice. However, the actual look of the shift knob is a little bit cheap to me. It feels kind of numb and rubbery, which, to be fair, is to be expected out of a vehicle like this. This is the least expensive Honda you could buy for the time, so I guess that's kind of par for the course, but if I personally own this, I'd probably swap out a different shift knob, even though the stitching on the shift knob matches the shift boot, which I do like. Then I have a little cubby and some armrests, coin holders, things like that, nothing too crazy. The seats are nice and comfortable. They're not very sporty, but again, even though this is a Honda Fit Sport, this isn't a sports car, and they are comfortable for this sort of segment of cars. I'm not too angry about them. But speaking of seats, we do have back seats, so let's go do a back seat review. All right, so we're in the back of the 2020 Honda Fit Sport, and a couple things to note back here. First of all, sitting up normally, my knees are not hitting the front seat, which is insane for a vehicle in this segment. Again, a smaller car. My head is barely starting to touch the ceiling a little bit. I am 5'11". If I slouch down a little bit, it's not going to be an issue at all. Plenty of space back here. Better space than my 2019 Mazda 3 hatchback. That has a more sloping roof line. It sort of starts to get bad on the headspace and knee space. That is not the case here in the Fit, and this is really the first time I'm talking about in this video just how big it is on the inside, but we'll talk more about that towards the end of the video. I don't really have any amenities back here. I don't even get a center like armrest or cup holder, nothing down here. I have my power windows, but that's really it. I get a light I guess I could turn on. I could barely reach it anyway. So not much amenities back here, but in terms of space, you have to hand it to Honda for how they package this little guy. But speaking of space, let's go take a quick look at the trunk and the cargo area. So around the back of the Honda Fit, now here in America, we never got a sedan version, but overseas, they do actually sell something called the Honda City, which they've been selling since at least the 80s. That is a more sedan vehicle, but here in the States, we only got hatchbacks. So pull this trunk up here.
And then we do have these two seats that can fold down with the push of the button here. Let's first show, with the seats up, plenty of cargo space. The car sits nice and low, which means you have tons and tons of space and tons of height. Of course, you can put a privacy cover across the top if you want. This current vehicle does not have that, but super, super nice space. I do have this little pull up here. I do get a spare tire under there, under this sort of foam tray. Sorry, audio was probably terrible for that. But I do have these seats I can fold down with the push of a lever like that. Bada bing, bada boom. Now we're cooking with gas. Now look at how much space is in here. Those seats go so flat, and these go flat too. They're just kind of propped up because the seats aren't normally down in this car. So once you load stuff on top of them, it won't be an issue. But look at how much space there is. I'll try to get more of it in shadow, but incredible space. The Honda Fit is incredible when it comes to interior room.
Now we gotta talk about the looks, and I really do love the look of the Honda Fit, especially in this red with the black wheels. Yes, I know that they're little wheels and they're nothing really too crazy. They're the regular Honda Fit wheels, but gloss black, but I think it really, really adds to the look of this car. And overall, I think it's really, really handsome. Like I said, overseas in Europe and Japan, they actually still have current model Honda Fits, again, known as the Honda Jazz, but they absolutely massacred the front end. I mean, come on. And so that ties in with my final thoughts here on the Honda Fit, is that now for 2021 and 2022, really, since we're so far into 2021 that we're really talking about next year's cars, the Honda Fit will live on in other markets, but Honda has switched it to being hybrid only with the eventual plan of making it an EV. Electric vehicle. So this is the final year, the last note, the period in the sentence that is the fun to drive stick shift Honda Fit. I think this is honestly the last final year in which the Honda Fit will be so beloved, because the Honda Fit is genuinely beloved. I know 3 people in my life that I would consider myself close to that have owned Honda Fits. Shout out to Nick, Alex, and Ethan. And when I talk to them about the Honda Fit, a inexpensive little Honda, their eyes light up. A smile starts growing on their face because they love these cars. Honda over-engineered these platforms to make them super rigid, so they're fun to drive, they're stiff, they handle really well, they get great fuel economy. But what tops all of that is really, truly, honestly, the interior space. Driving this car, it feels on the inside larger than it is. There's a long, long laundry list of items that my friends have stuck in the back of a Honda Fit that probably wouldn't fit in your RAV4 or probably even your Tahoe. Honda absolutely maximized the amount of space here in the Fit. For what it is, for what they were looking for it to do, they really hit the nail on the head. Can you buy bigger cars? Yes. Can you buy cars that are more powerful? Yes. Can you buy cars that look cooler? Yes. But can you get all of that into one little affordable package? I don't know. If you can, I haven't seen it yet. And so this is kind of a sad goodbye to something so great, so unique, so underappreciated, really. You don't see many people fiending to buy a Honda Fit. But once they buy it, it's hard to get them out of it. And that says something about a car. It says a lot about a car. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Ian for letting me take out his Honda Fit Sport. This video has been planned for well over a year, but unfortunately life just got in the way. And now I was finally able to come down here to Tennessee and drive his manual Fit. I absolutely love this car. And Ian has been absolutely great when it comes to me reviewing his car. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.